Morgan SLV back here. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, just got off Peter Schiff's website, one of his sites there, his YouTube channel. And one of the things he said was, pretty alarming. The federal government, I guess, is, pronouncing that over the next 5 years, our debt to GDP will be about even. Not according to Peter Schiff. He's thinking if you use realistic numbers, we'll probably be at 125% to 150% of GDP in the next 5 years. And that's if you use realistic calculations. Taking the consideration Freddie and and Fannie and all those kinds of things. It's just not looking too good. Which brings me to my next subject. Silver. Silver is at $19.17 an ounce. It's June 18th right now. It's in the morning, about 12. It's about almost 1 o'clock in the afternoon, actually. And so $19.17 an ounce. There's a lot of people that I've been talking to since I started buying silver at $10.50 an ounce, mind you, that haven't pulled the trigger yet. I guess they're waiting for it to go maybe to 100 or 200 or 300 an ounce. Like I say before, silver at under 20 bucks an ounce, is a gift from God. I like one of the quotes that I heard from Robert Kiyosaki. He said, gold and silver is God's money, and fiat currency is man-made money. And eventually, all fiat currencies go to their realistic value, which is zero. If they're not pegged to anything, of course, it's just paper, right? Another thing I thought was kind of interesting that I learned recently is that in Germany, the Weimar Republic, when they went through their hyperinflation, this is pretty wild. Check this out. I saw bills. This guy had them framed all the way from it had a 5. It was denoted in a 5. It had a 5 on it. Then the next one had a 10 on it. On upward. Well, by the time they were done with their hyperinflation, they were printing money so fast that they were only printing one side of the bill. In other words, they didn't have time, according to this narrator that I was listening to, they didn't have time to print both sides. So hence you get the old lady walking up the street with a wheelbarrow full of money, sets the wheelbarrow down, somebody comes along, dumps the money out of the wheelbarrow and steals the wheelbarrow. Okay, so that is, obviously that's a little bit of doomsday there for you, but it kind of, I don't know, I remember, you might have been for or against Ross Perot. I'm kind of against government in general, but I remember him talking about raising gas prices a lot, taxing the living tar out of us on fuel prices and whatnot when he was running for his his presidential bid. And one of the things that stuck with me, it's weird, I have little moments in time where I just don't forget certain statements. This was a statement he made: doesn't anybody in Washington own a calculator? That's kind of a funny statement, right? But if you look at what they're doing, I don't think they own a calculator. If they do, they don't use it much. It must have a lot of dust on it, right? So once again, I started buying silver at $10.50 an ounce. It's now $19.17 an ounce. I expect to see another dip. It wouldn't freak me out to see it drop a couple bucks. I'm not commodities as well as anything else. They don't go straight up and they don't go straight down. According to Mike Maloney, goldsilver.com, we're at about 20% of the cycle for gold. So if you're looking at gold at at the time he made this video, I think it was around $11.50 an ounce, and we're 20% there, 20% of the way there as far as what he sees gold eventually ending up at. As you know, in 1980, when gold matched M1, the money supply for the U.S., it was around $8.50 an ounce. If it was to do that today, through extrapolation of all the money that they've been printing, gold would be $15,000 an ounce. And it doesn't take an Einstein to figure out. He's calling for 10 to 1 on silver. That puts your silver at $1,500 an ounce. I plan to have about 4,000 or 5,000 ounces of silver by the time everything's all done. Have it stored in a nice, safe place, Brinks, or there's many places that you can do that. That'll be good. that'll be good for myself and my family. I hope that all of you check out, what I've been saying. Don't take my word for any of this stuff. I'm human. I can make a mistake, right? But I don't think, one of the things that I do when I get into a new town, I used to work for a company called PG&E. When I got into a new town, I always asked 3 people directions. And if 2 out of 3 gave me the same directions, that's the way I went. I'm doing the same thing with my investment advice, as well as the advice that I'm taking in. I listen to probably about 5 people consistently. One of them being DaVinci J15. Once again, check him out. They're all saying the same thing. I mean, they're really not deviating a whole lot. Their time frames may be a little bit different, but I can remember when I first started tuning into Peter Schiff. I remember him talking, well, there goes my phone. I remember him talking about gold and silver and what he thought it might do, and I'll tell you what, all of his predictions have come true so far. I'm going to grab that phone. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next time.